What an interesting piece. I really love the concept here and this idea of like repeating sequences. It reminded me a lot of Groundhog Day and just the way he hit the pillow every time. It was really satisfying way to kind of bookend each sequence. I always enjoy pieces that don't have a lot of dialogue because they have to rely on so many other elements to tell the story, and this one didn't disappoint. Everything from the music to the acting was just bang on, and it made for a really compelling and intriguing piece. I'd absolutely love to see more of this.
And this was a really neat story. Very well acted. I loved what they did with the set, with the lighting, with the design and everything in the story. I totally saw what they were going for. I guess in the beginning, I just wish that it were a little bit clearer as to what was happening. I found myself a little bit confused. But then eventually, as it got to the point, I got on board with it. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I thought that this was really well done.
I thought this was really, really clever, and having these moments where he's like blacking out for days. At first, he doesn't really clock it because he's clearly stuck in this very monotonous routine, working from home, doing the same thing every single day, and you kind of can, not necessarily to that extreme of fully blacking out, but I feel like a lot of the time we can kind of get lost in those types of routines when you're doing the exact same thing every day, and time just kind of does speed past you. So I think taking that kind of concept and elevating it and taking it to the next place and the next place, you kind of do get this man who ends up blacking out for most of the day or most of the week. And I think it's just really interesting, like everything he does to try and like remember what like he kind of keeps circling back to. And then the moment at the very, very end with all of the notes under the bed, like that's so wild. I thought it was really interesting, and then the device like popping back. I thought it was really well done. It's like the worst version of Groundhog Day, because it's not even like an exciting day that he's reliving. It's just a random day, and he's trapped in it, not remembering like what day it is or anything like that. So I thought it was really well done.
It's an interesting premise. It's set out very neatly. I think the main actor in it, Jarod Joseph, does a splendid job. And as I said, for anybody who's ever lost your phone, this movie has a special impact.
This was a really interesting film. I liked how they established the timeline of just the repetitiveness of him falling on the bed, waking up the next morning, and we see him going through this routine over and over. And it's not kind of until later in the end where there's a break in the routine, he finds this forgetting device and kind of starts tinkering around with it. And then I thought the notes were really interesting with the indicating where the phone was. Kind of reminded me of that movie Memento, where every day he kind of his memory resets, and he has like written or tattooed all over his body all of these messages, kind of reminding him of what his life is and what the situation is. So I thought this was really interesting. I thought that they packed a lot of like a complex storyline into a short film, and it was really well done. I thought that they got the message across really well. I thought that it was really believable. The tech was great, and yeah, a really, really great job from the filmmakers.
Very interesting. It actually reminded me of another story I've seen of this guy. It had a very much a horror feel to it, where this guy was taking these prescriptions that warped his sense of time. Now, it's completely different from a device that makes you forget things, but it had the same feel where this person was going through his normal daily routine, and the mundaneness of one's life can cause you to, everything blends together, and you don't realize it at first. Same thing as in this film and also in the story. It wasn't until there were slight changes that were being noticed. Case in point, in this one, it was that like small moment where they were like, "Hey, you're alive," or just the fact that the dates kept jumping. And then in the story, it was just the passage of time. People were talking to him as if he had been gone for weeks or months, when to him it had only been a few hours or a few days. And they both kind of have that like existential dread to them, where it can be very mind warping just how routine can blind us from something as monumental as that, as just not remembering days and days and days of our lives. It's a very fascinating concept, and I definitely enjoyed watching this.
Excellent storytelling and building up the desperation and the feelings of being trapped in this cycle of his routine. And it made the reveal of the technology and the twist that much more satisfying, because we were caught up in that and feeling like this isn't sustainable. It felt like a Groundhog Day in uncomfortable way, which is right what we needed to build up. Great pacing in the building up of the mystery and allowing the viewer to kind of play detective and sleuth it out in learning alongside the character.
This is quite cryptic, but also very engaging, and they have this Groundhog Day vibe, but much more intricate. This character gives us great performance with his binge drinking, sleeping, and just getting on with the day, but also experimenting with the device, trying to make sense of things probably, and trying to figure out the messages. And it's just very complex. Definitely intriguing. I want to know more.